Hello, welcome to this week's Staff Room Short. This week we're going to have 5 minutes and 2 questions all about the idea of change. Change is something that happens every single day. I mean, literally every single day. Our world is full of change. The seasons change, the weather changes, our clothes change. Change is something we're very used to, but it's actually also something we find very difficult. Particularly when we think about changing the big things, changing our relationships, changing our approach to life. But actually, there's a wonderful piece of scripture in Ecclesiastes which talks about the idea of change in terms of God's perception. It talks about being there a time for everything, a time for this to happen, a time for that to happen. It's a beautiful piece of scripture. I definitely recommend you reading it. And it reminds us that actually our lives are going to be a journey. They're going to have changes and challenges, and things are going to be different. And I suppose when it comes to then looking at change through a lens of faith, interestingly, the one thing you need to look at is the thing that doesn't change. And for us, we believe that the things that don't change, well, the thing that doesn't change is God and God's love for us in our lives. When you have a firm foundation of something that is rock solid, it's amazing then how able we are not just to cope with change, but to embrace change. And to see that change not necessarily as just a leaving behind of something else, but actually as something new and something exciting, something that we can move towards. God, remember, is a God of creation. He made everything, and our creation is full of that change in life. So I want you to think about maybe a change that you've been through in the last kind of week or month or even year. Think about how it was and what was difficult about it. But maybe if you can, and this is the challenge, think about what kept you going through that, what kept you solid and stable. Maybe it was the support of somebody else. Maybe it was the love of a family member or friend. Maybe it was even just like something you do just to kind of keep your head in the game, like an exercise or going running or keeping healthy or mindfulness or whatever. Think about a change that you've been through, but think about what didn't change to help you cope with it. Because I wonder if in that thing that you enjoy, that you love, or certainly in that person that loves you, maybe we can look at where God was acting in that. In our church at the moment, we talk a lot about change, about growth. How do we understand the signs of the times? That's one of the languages, one of the phrases that we use, and understand where we need to go without abandoning what needs to stay solid and needs to stay the same. Well, when we keep God at the centre and build on Him as our foundation, it not only makes sure that we can change for the right reasons and in the right way, but that we never lose part of what it is we are and what it is about. I want you to think as well about a change that's coming up for you, maybe as an individual or a community, something that we might be worried about. It could be the end of a school year, it could be a change in a family situation, and then to remind yourself again of what it is that isn't going to change to help you cope with that change. Where's that love? Where's that foundation going to be? What you may not realise, of course, and maybe this is something to reflect about and pray about as well, is just how much you are that rock, that foundation for somebody else. Maybe you're a parent, and as a child, you're seeing your children go through so many changes in outlook, attitude, intelligence, perspective, opinion. You may be the rock for someone else, and that's incredible, because you're allowing that change to be growth, and that change to be something beautiful and wonderful. Change is not something to be scared of. Change is something to be embraced, but that embracing of it and that joy and that courage to face it comes from reminding ourselves from what we can rely on in those moments of change. Certainly I believe that is God. But actually, think about for you what it is that you rely on and who it is that relies on you. And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to face the changes that you face as a community together. Have a think about what those changes might be. Maybe talk about it, maybe dialogue about what changes are coming up, and then just think about actually, whilst facing this, whilst navigating that change, this is what we're going to hold on to. This is what's going to keep us through it. This is what's going to get us there. And maybe have a think about this is where God is acting through that change to help us move forward. We'll see you next week.